to sell other people's product, so it's not our own product. So in 2012, we sat down, went back to the computer, opened back our papers, and then we planned for 3 businesses, which is F&B, a cafe, a fashion, or a beauty product. So our main passion is cafe because we like to eat. But since our budget was quite limited, we decided to focus on fashion. But little that we know, that fashion actually involves a lot of costing, a lot of capital for production. But since we already started, so we just go with the flow. So 2012, we started online first for the fashion to see whether is the Muslimah fashion segment the right segment for us to target. So by within 6 months, we decided that we're on the right track, so let's open our first shop in Menara Mara, KL. So we opened our first shop in 2013 January, and within a year, we opened a few other branches, and we were granted the first Muslimah fashion house in Malaysia that was granted franchisor license from KPD and KK. So in 2014, we expanded via franchising, and now currently we have 19 outlets throughout Malaysia for fashion. So remember the first dream that I told you about, that we like to eat, so we still have a dream to open a cafe. So Alhamdulillah, by 2015, we went through our books again and figured out that, okay, now it's the right time for us to launch a cafe. As you know, cafe takes a lot of capital. At least at that time we needed 2 million to launch a franchising concept cafe. So it means that with a central kitchen and all. So from in January we started planning and the operations. By May 2015, we managed to launch our first cafe, a coffee chain cafe that serves fast gourmet. Not just coffee, we have fast gourmet food as well. So in May 2015, and Alhamdulillah, by now we have 5 cafes already operating throughout Lembah Kelang, Klang Valley, and 5 more in renovation. Inshallah, within this 2 months, we'll launch another 5. So total by in 2 months, we have 10 cafes in total. So that's pretty much how we started.
It's really a great achievement. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, if you would like to see what type of clothes, the fashion that Zawara provided, you can always Google search it in zawara.my. Am I correct?
Zawara.com.
Yeah, you can see there are a lot of fashion that Zawara come up with, like for Muslimah fashion. Correct? Okay. Okay, Mr. Kamaro. Okay, there's this saying like, we have to create the right mindset, like what Dato said earlier, like think big. What's your opinion towards this phrase?
Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you USM for inviting us. My name is Kamarul. I'll just give some brief introduction about us. So I started my life, my career as an airline pilot with Malaysia Airlines for 10 years. Eventually, during these periods, we gain experience and keep observation, also observe what we could do. From there, after serving Malaysia Airlines for 10 years, I went to expand my flying career with an airline, the United Arab Emirates, Etihad Airways, for another 7 years before coming back to be closer home with AirAsia X, just to get close to the business. We started this business together, me and my sister. Then during those period, Dila was running the day-to-day operations. I was running the business from remote, so gathering ideas is what I see from overseas and implemented here. So thinking big, generally is one of the most important mindset is in business. Yeah? So to start a business, it is very important that you know what you are going into. See, most people focus on the final product of a successful entrepreneur like Dato. We see the big houses that he lives in, the first class traveling, sports car probably, or whatsoever. But many fail to realize the hardship that the entrepreneurs started. You know, the empty bank accounts, the hustling, the lonely nights, you know, the unimaginable, immense pressure. You see that all successful businessmen that I have met went through, but generally these stories are not really exposed because it is one, probably scary, two, probably not interesting enough. So one must know before starting a business that it is not for the lazy. So if you have the mindset of, I want to start business because I want to spend time a lot with my boyfriend or family or kids, it is wrong. Because entrepreneurs are crazy people who prefer to work 100 hours a day, a week, instead of 40 hours a week compared to wage earners. Wage earners would normally work about 40 hours a week, and then entrepreneurs work 100 hours a week, and they might earn lesser than what a wage earner gets. That's crazy. So, but the skies is the limit for entrepreneurs. You know, so get the mindset right. You have to prepare to hustle, work hard, and withstand immense pressure that is not imaginable to you right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Camaro. So, ladies and gentlemen, think big if you want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, Miss Dila, like what you said just now, because you started a cafe because you like to eat, and also you and your brother come up with the concept of fashion Zawara because it's because of passion. So there's this saying, skill versus passion, which is more important actually. Would you like to elaborate more on this?
So I graduated from accounting and finance. It has nothing to do with fashion. It has nothing to do with food. So I guess university is a foundation for you to build not only your knowledge but also your soft skills. How you negotiate with people, how you delegate tasks, maybe as a project manager or something. But as the question, passion versus skill. So that's in our community. It's always like when you go to your friend's house and she bakes nice cakes. Oh, your cake is delicious. Why don't you open a bakery? So she will go and open her bakery, and this friend that suggested her to open a bakery will never come, or will just ask the cake for free. So and then if you just do something because of that's my skill, I'm good at it, and then you won't persevere through the hard times, through the stressful time, and through the ups and downs. So, but passion, just loving whatever that you do, will drive you through all the hard times. So. I do not know how to draw initially, but because I just love business in general, so I forced myself to love the fashion industry. So I trained myself how to draw. And I trained myself, and until now I don't know how to draw. I end up just asking a professional fashion design to draw a stencil. So I start to design on stencils. So just if you're passionate of the business as a whole, you'll be creative and automatically find ways and means to make it work. So you just have to be passionate about whatever you do. See, you don't have to actually do what you love, but you just force yourself to love what you do. Yeah.
So it's because of skill and it's passion and the love of doing it that makes everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss Dila, for such a wonderful sharing. Next, Mr. Camaro, I mean, what makes you start the business? I mean, to have the idea to start this business, to establish Mirage Resources?
How to get started?
Yeah, how to get started.
Okay. Generally, I would like to share of can I convert to how to start a business generally, yeah? To start a business, it starts with number one, like Dato said, it's a dream. Yeah, it's a dream. Get the right products. Dream big is the most important basic or fundamentals of starting any business. The most important thing is you have to know that thinking small takes the same effort and time as much as thinking big. And it's easier to do business when you're big. It's easier to get business loans when you're big. And the paperwork to create a small business and a big business is almost the same. So imagine, and then do not have this inferiority complex of, I'm from this part of the world, I can never be big. Can you imagine that one beverage concoction company from Thailand by the name of Cream Dayang or something like that has turned into a multi-billion-dollar company from an innovative marketing and creating a remarkable product. The name of the concoction in Thailand, it is generally the Red Water Buffalo, now known as the Red Bull. Multi-billion-dollar company. It starts from Thailand. It's a drink which has been consumed by the taxi drivers to keep them healthy, to keep them awake. So the basic is thinking big. Next is think of a product of what you want to do, right? It can be any product. For instance, you are interested in clothing or cafe or automotive. I got news for you. In ASEAN, for the last 15 years, we have generated more millionaires than comparing to the preceding 150 years, because it is so much cheaper to do business now and to do marketing compared to the preceding 150 years because of the technology. And it's easier to learn. For instance, both of us learn the art of making clothes and cafe, generally from YouTube, from internet. For example, I'm a very technical guy, flying and all that, so what do I know about sewing and food? But through internet research, right, we have to find out on the minute details, because retail, when you involve yourself in the retail business, retail is detail. You find the right product, and the product must be sustainable. If the product is not sustainable, right, you wouldn't. If the product is not sustainable, it's very difficult for you to think big. For instance, when you started a controversial product, for example, an electronic cigarette, right? You can generate a lot of money, millions, but you know the product is so controversial, it's very difficult to market. Facebook bans it, a lot of people, it is just waiting for time before it met its demise. So choose a product carefully. Next, build the concept. After you build the concept, find a brand name. Warren Buffett said, one of the richest men in Malaysia. Who doesn't know Warren Buffett here? One of the richest men in the world. Yeah. Anybody who knows Warren Buffett? Lift your hands. Nobody knows. Okay. You know. Okay. He says one of the best business module is create a brand or buy a commodity and sell a brand. That's what he do. From that, Starbucks pick it up and start buying commodities and sell a brand. And we are emulating it as well. Buying commodities, sell a brand. So we created a brand name. So especially in the retail business, create a brand. How to create a brand is finding a unique name. For instance, it don't have to be like Cafe Penang. Cafe Penang. It is so generalized that you cannot TM or IP it. You have to create a unique name. For instance, Zawara. We created the word. Years later, we can find out, okay, when people know what does Zawara means. Actually, it means nothing. You see. But for media's sake, we could say it means almost sounds like a guest in Arabic. So it's guest. Means in Arabic, Zuwar means guest. So it's a name which is derived from the Arabic words. But the truth is, it is name which is unique and available in .com. So I and Dila was punching in, and both of us was mentioning something which is easy to mention, easy to pronounce, easy to spell, and it's available in .com. So I was mentioning it, Dila was mentioning it, not available, not available, not available, and it's not easy to find a unique name nowadays. But you have to try. So generally when we mention the word Zawara.com is available. So we take that as our brand name. Why? Because to be fast in this marketing world nowadays, you have to make your presence in the internet very strong. You see, when is the last time that you Google the second page of Google search engine? Anybody? You want to find anything? You search second page, researchers probably. But generally, in business world or branding, if you don't exist on the first page, you don't exist in the internet world. And if you don't exist in the internet world, it is very difficult for you to do marketing. For instance, Zawara now, if you Google Google.com, MSN, Bing, Yahoo, it's going to appear on the first page, first line, on every major search engine, including Baidu.com in China, including Yandex in Russia. That's how crawlers works. So find a unique brand name and create that brand name. Once you have established a brand name, then only you can diversify. First, of course, focus on the main product until you can you have achieved your target of what you want to grow. For instance, as we achieve that we want to enter in every state in Malaysia, we want to have at least one boutique. Then move on. See, then we first focus on the main business, then embrace this strength in diversity. So you diverse to build up your strength so that you can sustain in any adverse economic situation. Once you create a brand, found a remarkable product, remember, remarkable product. You see, you can create any other product. For instance, now is the craze where everybody wants to do cosmetics, kupute, telanjang laris, and all kinds of supplements. And hundreds and hundreds of people will try to create cosmetics, or even tudong, the hijab, the scarf. Everybody thought it's easy. Yes, it's easy. You just take a scissors and make a square of a cloth, paint it, and then you call yourself some brand and put it on your head. But if you could create something remarkable out of the tudong or anything, then you'll be different. Anything at all. Seem like a car or a house or a restaurant or a hotel. If you can create a remarkability, you're going up fast. After the branding, next create a company. Understand how companies are built. You see? And then master the art of finance. And then always remember that most big companies in the world now are made from acquisitions. Means they master the art of finance literacy. And then they can do anything, like Louis Vuitton, Topshop, and all that. They are even Starbucks. These are companies which are built on acquisitions. Venture capitalists, and all that. So master the art of finance, the basic accounts. You don't have to really study an accounts, but master the art of finance. Building a company, know the structure from know the difference between what is a business and a company. For instance, most people would try to start a company with enterprise, or they call it sole proprietorship. Try to start with Sdn Bhd, because below Sdn Bhd, nothing is a company. A company starts with a Sdn Bhd company. So you cannot start, register yourself with SSM or the Companies Commission and set up entrepreneur, sole proprietorship, and call yourself managing director. There's no directors in a sole proprietorship company. Start with a Sdn Bhd, and then you start small. You can start small, but be very organized. From there, start to work on your project. Plan is very important, because failing to plan is planning to fail. Some people say that I don't have time to plan. If you think that you don't have time to plan, what makes you think you have the time to actually run the business? So plan, let it take 1 year or 6 months or 2 years to plan, but plan properly. Because in the business plan, it has to be so thorough that you have to simulate, just like aircraft, every 6 months we do forecast. Therefore, every 6 months is our license. Generally, our employment is about 6 months. You fail the check every 6 months, second time you'll be terminated from an island pilot job, you see. So in this simulator or paperwork thing, you have to simulate the worst scenario for your business. How many people is required to come to your establishment per day, per week, how much you have to break even. These are the finance which are the boring part, but it has to be done, you like it or not. Next is the building of a team, like Dato said. He built a fabulous team, you see. And if the team is happy and they make the employers manage to make the employers happy, generally they will take care of the customers and eventually take care of the employers as well. Build a team is very important. Right? And then what we do in Zawara, our employees are not an asset of the company, like most people say. To us, the employees are the company. Without the employees, there's no company. Thank you.
Okay, the Zawara runs online, right? I wonder how is it like the integration between working in the office and running it through online? I mean, can you guys explain more about it?
Alright.
This is really hard. But I mean, for the company.
Okay, so initially during when internet initially boomed, like especially retail in Malaysia in 2012, 2013, it was okay if you run the business only online. But now, in business, the pattern goes is extremely robust and dynamic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this year, since 2015, if you run solely on online, the customer's experience towards your brand is very limited. So that's why we push to integrate both the beauty of online business and also offline business. At the end of the day, especially for products like fashion, people still would like the experience of trying out the products, testing the fabrics, seeing if it looks good on you. And by allowing each boutique in each state in Malaysia, it allows our customer not only to try out and experience and then automatically convert into sales. We use our online platform to create the need for the clothes. So by online, we use online more for marketing. Marketing by online, it's it's cheaper than offline marketing. Marketing for the past 10 years, it has become cheaper as compared to previous 50 years in business. Initially, if you want to do business, you have to first have a shop, and then you have to have billboards, you have to do TV advertising, Yes, it still works until now, but for startups, online marketing is the best. So develop your digital assets so that you can push via online marketing. It's not free, definitely, but it's cheaper. So that's why you need to integrate both online and offline.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Ghazali, I wonder whether Nusratech also have the same system. I mean, like, I think the audience would like to know also, because Zawara has their own online marketing and also their office.
We are in totally different kinds of business. That's much more fashion, clothing, textile, lifestyle. We are in engineering services, so obviously you cannot follow the same sort of strategy. Our marketing is basically based on, number one, having the right prerequisites in terms of licensing, standard requirements, safety standards. Our engineers must be qualified, and of course, the inspectors in our company must be allowed to sign documents because they are qualified, they've gone through the various tests, etc., etc. Like my son, not only is he an engineer and an economist as well, he's got 2 degrees. He's also a qualified ISO lead assessor. He's a qualified safety engineer. He's a qualified radiation protection officer because he must study about nuclear things and all that, because we're dealing a lot of instruments, especially in the field of non-destructive testing, etc. So it's a different kind of thing. So, but the fact still remains that we still have to make sure that the customer will come back to us and feel comfortable with us. Now, what is it that gives them the comfort level? One, of course, has to be the service, the quality of service. He can be rest assured that if he goes to Nusratech, he feels that what he does has been properly inspected and tested and qualified to serve the market. Because you must remember, we do a lot of inspection for the oil rigs and the petrochemical plants. And now we're doing all the material testing, almost all the material testing for the MRT in Kuala Lumpur. If you go to KL, you see all the mass rapid transit system, we do all the material inspection. And what we do is, we inspect the materials before it is being used. We inspect the materials while they are being fabricated. And we inspect materials post, when the project is completed. And we also do the maintenance inspection. So there you are. So it's a different ballgame. But the fact remains that customer satisfaction is very, very important. So that's it. But in our case, because we are dealing with very, very, what shall we say, sensitive and strategic projects like oil rigs. An oil rig costs, my gosh, $650 to $700 million each. So if anything goes wrong in the inspection, my gosh, we are really in big trouble. And that's number one. Number two, we train and retrain and retrain our engineers all the time, because technologies change very rapidly. So my job as the executive chairman is to look over the horizon. What are the areas of technology which are likely to accrue within the next 3 to 5 years? So I have got to look at all the magazines, and this is where my linkages with universities is very important, because I can discuss with the professors, all the members of the academia and research teams, what is the trend of things to come. And I anticipate that, so that I will create the right engineers that can handle this kind of business opportunities. So there you are. So that's very important. And number two, of course, I've got to look also at the quality of training that I'm giving my engineers. Are they being given the right kind of training? And also, marketing. Do I have people in my marketing team who understand engineering? That's also very important. So what I do normally is, I always market as a team. There is one marketing man, and there's also an engineering person to accompany this marketing man. So that between the two of them, they will synergize. They will go together and then market the products. So there you are. So that is the difference and the similarity between our two businesses. But I want to come back to what I said earlier. I went to your shop, by the way. because I'm staying in the Vistana, and I popped it, and I like your pastel colors. By the way, for your reference there, my dear friends, I do all the shopping for my wife's clothing. I'm serious. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at that. I like your color, very pastel, and your decorations, your lace work is very light. You only put at certain places only where it highlights. You don't overdo it. Because some of the designs I don't like, it's too elaborate. My wife says I have excellent taste because I have a lot of experience in this. And here I have to be very frank with you. Please forgive me if I sound a bit vulgar if I use it. Dunlop Australia used to have an undergarment company called Berlei. Remember the brand, B-E-R-L-E-I? And they sell women's undergarments, brassieres, panties, girdles, and all that. And when I was posted to Australia, I was posted as assistant sales manager for New South Wales, based in Sydney. And one of the jobs, responsibilities that I have to do every season, summer, spring, autumn, winter, is to sit down and watch all these beautiful models come in with their undergarments, different colors, different shapes, different everything. And I got to make a decision together with my merchandising manager as to what is the color for that particular season. So I became very, very educated in this. I began to understand how important in a bra that the lift is important. And the lift comes not from the cup, but from the strap over here. So I have to study human ergonomics. My God, it's very scientific, you know, when it comes to think of it. So so please forgive me, ladies. My eye is so trained that when I look at a person, I ask myself, wouldn't she look better if you had chosen the right undergarments? It's automatic, because I was selling undergarments to enhance the beauty of a lady in the dress. So when I saw your dress yesterday, I was very, very keen to know. I never knew that I'm going to meet the owner one day, alhamdulillah, man. I'll come back to you soon after this because I want to buy a lot. I like your color, and I'll tell my wife about this. So there you are, and I have two granddaughters also, you know. So these are the things. So I realized your color. You got pastel colors, very light lace work, okay. And I noticed that yours is a flowing style. You don't abrupt it; you make it flow. Just like a lingerie, you know, because I used to sell lingerie, would you believe it or not? And then, you know, this kind of things, you know. And I also noticed that you like to use what I call it your leg there. It doesn't end there; it ends a bit longer there. This is, I think, to emphasize the elongated lady. So yeah. So there you are. You see how educated I am. I'm a very keen observer. When I look at people, I look at it in total. I ask myself, what sort of person is she? Has she chosen the right color for her personality? Is she using the right foundation garments to emphasize the God-given beauty that she has? This kind of things. Now I want to ask you a question. Can you design anything? You know, when you look at all these ladies over here, they are students, right? Can you design something which is still very Muslimah, tapi more functional? In other words, they can use it for more physical movement. If we can do that, I think it's wonderful. Because I hate to see this, you know, jeans And on top, my God, to me, it annoys me. It is, what shall we say, it is not in keeping, there's no harmony. Boleh tak you design something? Thank you anyway for your attention.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I guess Dato is also interested in Zawara clothing. I mean, you must be anticipating and wondering how it actually looks, right? You can refer to our screen actually. Our technical team actually do a great job. They actually log into the website. Or maybe Miss Dila can elaborate more on Zawara. I mean, like the fashion.
Like I mentioned earlier, from early on, we like to think big and diversify. Even though that's why we made a general name, Zawara, that doesn't doesn't like yeah. So we have dresses, we have shoes. Besides that, we have a makeup line. It's a one-stop center for women. Actually, whatever that they need from top to toe, we have it in Zawara. So that's the concept for the Zawara fashion.
We started with targeting. So in creating a business, you cannot target everyone, you see. You have to pick a certain segment first. For instance, when we launch with limited budget, we launch only blouse. Because at that time, it was remarkable. Why it was remarkable? Because it's very difficult to find a blouse which complies with the Sharia, Muslim way of dressing that looks modern. So we also emulate the Spanish retailer spearheaded by Amancio Ortega, which is who owns Zara. So we are so engrossed with Zara that whenever, at that time I was still flying, I flew with a lot of Spanish first officer, co-pilot, so I asked them about everything about Zara, about so how Zara is mentioned is supposed to be pronounced as Zara instead of Zara, and then we emulate the concept of creating a fast fashion. So we created the first Muslimah fast fashion concept, introducing one new collection every week. So what we do is adopt the concept of a business built on speed, designed for addiction. So every week we'll come out with new collections, and now we expanded our products into shoes, cosmetics, eyeliner, and we'll be introducing a lot more very soon, accessories, belts, and anything that got to do with women fashion.
So ladies and gentlemen, see how wonderful Zawara is? Those who stay outside of Malaysia, don't worry, you can always log into this website and just order it online. You can done the payment by online.
Internationally.
I'm national. Alright, Miss Dila, I'm wondering how did you actually maximize the usage online, as in by marketing, the online marketing?
Online marketing, basically a huge chunk of our marketing budget, especially during our seeding years, went to online. To date, our Facebook marketing budget is about $70,000 US a month. So it's not cheap, as I told you, but it's very efficient. The return on investment of the marketing, it's almost confirmed if you use it correctly, you via the right techniques and channels. Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, with this I conclude that to be an entrepreneur, it takes not only right idea, but it takes also passion, skill, and the right mindset. Okay, we'll start the Q&A session. For the audience who have any inquiries, you may proceed to the nearest mic stand. Anyone? Come on, such a rare opportunity. Yeah, you just proceed. Please introduce yourself first and where do you come
and good morning, everyone. Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jonathan Esol from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, from the University of the Philippine System in the Philippines. So my question is, all of you are successful entrepreneurs, but I believe that for the past years of being a successful entrepreneur, there have been dark ages, I guess. So what were the biggest challenges that you faced as an entrepreneur, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Can I answer that? Thank you very much. I was waiting for that question. You know, my life has not been ups all the time. Your 3 books will be out very shortly, inshallah, by the end of the year. 1 book is about my career in Dunlop and about how I am what I am today. The 2nd book is about my years on the board of the Malaysian Investment Development Authority, where I told you I spent 30 years of my life planning for the economic development of the country. But the 3rd book, this is to answer your question. The 3rd book. I have been through a lot in my life. For 22 years of my life, I was declared a bankrupt. This book is entitled In Bankruptcy, Lessons Learned, Egos Corrected. Remember, I've had a string of successes all through my life. Ego got the better of me. Remember I told you about the first principle which I learned from my father? Don't let success take to your head. You are what you are not because you make the decisions, but because you must fear God and His retribution if you do not follow the principles of the religion. I did just that, and I went into trouble for 22 years. This book is going to highlight the mistakes that I made, which I made not because I was stupid, but because I thought I was too smart. This book is being written now by a very highly qualified lawyer, and he wants this book to be distributed to all would-be entrepreneurs. And I want to share this with you. Don't make the mistake that I made simply because of my ego. And that is why I have learned to be humble, to share, to admit. One of the biggest mistakes that I made was not to listen to my wife. Very important. Because the most important and closest person that understands you, your strength and weakness, is your wife. But I refused to listen to her. I said, apa you tahu, you kerja company you saja, sana executive sana. I was a star in Dunlop. I was this, I was that. I brought glory to the company. I was posted here and there. I went to so many management schools. What do you know about management? My God, I didn't realize the mistake that I made. Not only have I wronged myself, but I've also upset the most important person, God. And because of that, I went to trouble. But the moment I sat down, and I was very lucky at that time. My late father was still alive. He used to come to my house. So Gus, he said, I'm so glad that you are now a bankrupt. And at such an early age, Because now you have chance to recover and become a good businessman. Be positive, he says. Write down all the mistakes you made, how you made it, and what you're going to do about it. 3 columns. So I wrote them down. It hurt me so much. But there, I slowly learned about myself. So, gentlemen, you're looking at a person who was out in the cold for 22 years, from a minus 8 million ringgit negative to a positive 200 million ringgit. I want this book to be read by all of you when it comes out. Because then you will realize these are the pitfalls that you face if you want to be an entrepreneur. Don't make the same mistakes. And I got a friend who's a professor in business. He said, Gus, this book can be a bestseller. Because this is a real life story. Because here is a person who admits he was a bankrupt, yet he has recovered, and yet he's willing to share. My goodness me. Not many people are willing to do that because of ego. I said, I have no more ego now. My ego is with God. So there you are. I'm being very, very frank. So this book is going to come out. It's taken a bit of time because there are a few chapters which I'm putting inside there, which are recommendations to the Malaysian government and also to the ASEAN governments. If you want to create entrepreneurs, there are certain laws that you can amend. Because now you're bankrupt, you cannot go into any business. You cannot even open a bank account. But I think you can amend such laws and allow so that the recovery process becomes simple. You know, when I was released from bankruptcy, I got my international passport. I went to Singapore for an international conference. And you won't believe the feeling I had. The moment I went through the immigration and I was out waiting in the waiting lounge for my flight, I slept, I sat down and I cried. I cried and I cried. And I rang up my wife. I said, darling, thank you so much for being such a wonderful wife. I suddenly realized a woman's love. We have been married now 50 years. We have wonderful children. 10 wonderful grandchildren. I have a very successful business. But I have a man who went through it all. And that is why I want to share this with you. So when you become an entrepreneur, please, please be careful. And for the male entrepreneurs, please listen to your wife. Thank you very much.
Miss Gila, would you like to add on to what Dato? Yeah.
So there you are. Those are my...
The next is the university.
I went through it all.
Hello. The microphone is too high for me.
It's okay, you can take it out.
Good morning to my colleagues and to the speakers. I'm JP De Las Nieves from the University of the Philippines. Actually, I really don't know if I am gonna ask a question or I just want to share my realizations after this forum. Because the moment I read the part of the program, it tells me that it should be an inspiring forum. And after your sharing, after your talks, because of the inspiration that you gave me, that you're always telling me that we should share, now I'm gonna share my view on what you shared with us. First, I realized that entrepreneurship means start. Why start? First, let's start with the letter S. It's about sharing ideas. So,
you understand that. T is about thinking big and thinking positive. A is about achieving dreams. R, it's about returning the favor. That whatever success that you can have as an entrepreneur, you should return it to God, to the country, to your friends, to your wife, and to all those who help you. And lastly, T, it's about taking one step at a time. That we students can be successful entrepreneurs in the future, and if ever we fail, what's more important is we know how to stand again. So with that, I believe that what we're doing right now is a start of something new. ASENET is a good start, and what you said, sir, and what our Vice Chancellor said, we will be starting a Student Entrepreneurial Center in the University of the Philippines in Diliman. And that Student Entrepreneurial Center will be built in the Vinsons Hall. But what's important with the Vinsons Hall, it is named after Wenceslao Vinsons. So when you shared the story about Jose Rizal, I opened my Wi-Fi and read about Jose Rizal again because he's our national hero. Actually, I have 1 peso coin here, and Rizal's head is in there. And when I realized we'll be starting the Student Entrepreneurial Center in the Vinsons Hall, Wenceslao Vinsons is a Philippine hero, a student leader like us. And actually, he won a speech. And that speech is entitled, Malaysia Iredata. It's about the unification of Southeast Asian nations with a common Malay origin. So with that, I realized that the Student Entrepreneurial Center that we built in Vinsons Hall is also about a realization of a dream by Jose Rizal, by Wenceslao Vinsons, by Dato Ghazali, and I hope dream of all the students here in this assembly. And with that, actually, I have a question to Dato Ghazali. Next year, actually this year, October, the Philippines will host the ASEAN Student Leaders Forum. So my question is, are you available in October so that we can invite you as one of our inspirational speakers with the topic of ASEAN integration and the youth's role? Actually, we haven't finalized our topic, but I think this will be a very good topic. It's about inspiring ASEAN people to really unite and to realize our dream of having a unified Southeast Asian region. So that's my question, sir. I will give you my contact number later so that we can meet. And you can share with us your knowledge and your resources. Thank you so much.
Thank you to our friends from Philippines. It's time to do sharing. Next, anyone would like to ask question? Okay, the lady over there.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. So I'm Dewi from the USM student from the Agrosis Club. So firstly, I want to wish Datuk Hazali happy belated birthday to you. And, and then I want to ask a question to Miss Dila. So as mentioned by Datuk Hazali, he was inspired by his father, right? So I want to ask you, who inspired you to start a business and become a successful person until now?
Alright,
That's my question. Thank you.
thank you for the question. Okay, first of all, thank God our religion itself, we have, our role model is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he himself is a very successful entrepreneur, a businessman, and in fact in Islam we are encouraged to do business. So the base foundation is the religion itself. Secondly, I have a brother that is already successful with he earned 70,000 ringgit a month of a very comfortable salary in as an airline captain. So it kept me thinking, why is he like is he like interested in business where he could easily just lead a VIP life in Emirates with private school drivers and everything. But he sacrificed his basically comfort and comfort zone to be back in Malaysia to develop a business. He is actually a big source of my role model of how passion supersedes wealth, supersedes money, supersedes everything. So he taught me of delayed gratification. You can reward yourself once you have achieved the goals that we have planned initially. So alhamdulillah. So right now I'm happy that a lot of our dreams we managed to achieve, and with sometimes materials are also a good goal setting, or not to teach people to be materialistic, but passion and goals is our.
I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Ms. Dila, for such wonderful sharing. Next, anyone else? Okay, the gentleman right there.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. I am Firdaus from University of Malaya. So I have two simple questions to Dato. So first, my question is, how do you do your business? I mean, like, how do you get your customers? How do you get your projects, such as mega projects, such as inspecting oil rigs and inspecting the construction of MRT, right? My second question is, does Nusantara Technology has successfully monopoly the market of Malaysia and maybe in Asia? That's my question. Thank you.
How do I market? Well, if you come to my office, one of the first things that you notice is a little cooking gas cylinder. Cooking gas that you use in the kitchen. And on top of it, framed in gold, is a 5 cents coin. That's how I started my business. By inspecting cooking gas cylinders. As I told you, when I first started my business, after bankruptcy, I could not go into something big because I didn't have much money. I only had 70,000 ringgit, which I borrowed from my mother. So, but I was very interested in inspection business because I saw a potential in it. Because as a country industrializes, it needs to have this kind of a service. So I looked around. I said, why don't I start with something very simple, a cooking gas? So I approached the Department of Factory and Machineries, and I got the business because nobody else wanted to do that business. So when you enter my office, you see a cooking gas cylinder, a bit rusty now, and then on top of it, a 5 cents coin, because that was my profit margin for every inspection that I did for one cooking gas. But on top of it is a nice saying. This is where it all began. And another saying, sedikit sedikit jadi bukit. Bit by bit, it turns into a mountain. You see, I was humbled by my bankruptcy. I suddenly realized this is the way to earn a living.